Hi, friends. This is Caitlin. Welcome back. I need you guys to know that seeing you guys talking in the comments ahead of time seriously just makes my whole day. So it is time. It's a go time. I'm so excited. We have part two of my sneak peek week. So for those of you who don't know, every third Friday of the month, Pink and Main has a new release. And for us, that is tomorrow. So I have a sneak peek ready to share with you. The other day we went kind of cutesy. Today we are going for straight, silly, punny goodness. So let me go ahead and get you switched over. There we go. Let's turn on our other light. There we are. All right, so I am doing a mini slimline card today. So I have my card base prepped. That's 7 inches by 7 inches by 6, folded down the middle at 3.5. So I like a 3.5 by 6 mini slimline card. I have a panel of the Tone on Tone pink polka dot from Year Round Dots and Stripes. That's going to be our main panel on our card base. I also used one of the stitched mini slim rectangle from the set 2 to make my little background, which we're going to be ink blending. We'll get to that in a second. And then hopefully we've given everybody a couple minutes to get on if they can. But this is the stamp set that I'm sharing with you tonight. This is called Just Chicken In, and I absolutely am obsessed with it. These are the funniest little chickens ever. So we have like a little sassy, two little sassy ones with the sunglasses. We have the mama chicken with her eggs. I have a little teddy. She's reading them a book. Let's get you up closer. We have this little row of chickens with a chicken bum on their face. A ton of amazing sentiments. And then, in my opinion, the star of the show. Let me show it to you stamped out because I probably didn't line my stamp up perfectly. There she is with her bunny slippers and her rollers. This is the image I'm going to use tonight for this card. So I'm going to use her with the you can have the worms. I just want my coffee. But the other ones in here, happy birthday, best of cluck, you're one cool chick. Congratulations on your hatchling. So that's perfect with the little eggs. Have an excellent day. Just chicken in on you. I'm so excited for you. Don't get your feathers ruffled. This too shall pass. And if that doesn't just sum up something we could use all the time, a sentiment we could need to hear at any time. Don't get your feathers ruffled. This too shall pass. So we are going to get chickeny today with our cute. I'm just going to do one. I thought this would be a great size for my mini slimline, just to let her kind of be the feature. And we're going to stamp the sentiment right onto the card base. But before we do that, I want to make her a background worthy of her silliness and cuteness. Let's get my card base started first. Grandma chicken. Yeah, exactly. She's a grandma chicken with her hair and those rollers. Early bird gets the worm. You can have the worm. I'd rather have my coffee. That's me. All right. So I decided to do the dots side up because we are going to be doing some stripes for our ink blended background. And so I grabbed the candy stripe stencil. This is not new. This came out around Christmas and it's supposed to be like a peppermint stripe. But what I was thinking was we could do it this way and then rotate it and do like a make your own plaid. That's the feeling that I want to go for today. So we're going to do some orangey yellow with the construction ink pad. Let me see if I can grab a piece of clean printer paper. Nope, all of these have ink in them. Oh, well, that's close enough. We're just going to get it inky anyway, right? I think I'm definitely going to need my magnetic board tonight. So I'm going to grab my Windy Becky station. I have a little shelf under my desk, guys, and that's where I keep all my stuff. So I'm going to put the printer paper, oh, that's fun, between my card panel and my magnetic board. I think we're going to tape and magnet this time. Oh, I'm glad you guys are liking the chickens. I just think they're so cute. Like there's a lot of like cutesy stamps in this release. Kind of more in that same feeling of the little mushroom and the little girl that we've used the other day. And I'll share that card again at the end for anybody that missed it. So I'm just taking some washi tape and I'm going to tape my panel in place from the back. Pick it up. And then I'm going to use the magnets to hold my stencil in place. And because now the paper is not going to move because it's attached to the stencil. So we're going to start with our diagonal first. From Missouri, I don't know if we've had anybody from Missouri before. I'm going to tap ink onto my blending brush and then tap it off onto my scrap paper. And I want this to be more intense in the center, I think, and a little lighter out towards the sides. So I'm going to start with a pretty light hand. And because I'm not using any kind of like sticky spray, pixie spray, anything like that to hold my stencil down, which you totally can, but I found that if I blend in the same direction as the stripes, so blending with them instead of against them, they don't really shift around and I still get a pretty crisp end result. So I want a light layer over everything, but then I'm going to go back and start to bump up the color in the center because that's where I'm going to put my grandma chicken. So I want her to have a little, we're going to ground her too with our markers, but I want her to have a little bit of a grounding space with the color in our background too. All right. Take a peek. Yeah, that's good. All right. So you can see we're starting to get our very soft blend. And now what I want to do, so we have it that way, I'm going to rotate it this way. There we go. And it's not an exact science anyway. So that's good enough. Just so we're creating that crosshatch kind of feel. Same thing, just wherever I have an empty card, and I'm just going to start sweeping my brush. And if you're worried anything is not laying as flat as you want, you can always kind of hold them down in place too. And this is going to give a really cool plaid pattern. I'm just using Ice Rink 110, I think it's 110 pound cardstock. I have all of the products that I'm using except for the chickens linked in the description, no matter where you're watching from. And the chickens are not linked because they don't go on sale till tomorrow. Okay. I think I'm pushing down harder on this side than I was in the beginning. So what I'm going to do to fix that is instead of holding my brush right near the handle, I'm going to come further up on the ferrule of the brush. And that's going to help me to have a lighter touch so that I'm not pushing so hard against my stencil that I'm sliding it around. And this is where I'm starting to go back in and layer up a little bit more of that pigment in the center. Perfect. There you go. So that is our little tone-on-tone custom plaid with the lighter edges. And it's this beautiful yellowy orange because construction ink is kind of right in between. It's not a super punchy orange, but it's definitely not yellow. It's right in the middle. So I love that. And I just think for like a summery, springy card, it'll work really well with a pink polka dot. Hey Jay, the stencil is not new. That is the candy stripe stencil from Christmas time, but instead of using it as a candy stripe, I just layered it and rotated it once. So we got this really fun kind of farm plaid with it instead of our candy stripe. Because I love when you can take something that originally was intended for one season or holiday and manipulate it so that you can use it the rest of the year. I don't know about you guys, but I have too much stuff as it is. I can't, I need to justify making purchases on things. And the easiest way to do that is if I know I can use it in more than one way. So I just adhered that down flat with liquid glue. And I'm going to get my chicken colored up first so we can decide where exactly she should sit before we stamp the sentiment in. So let's get a little closer on our chicken. She's so funny. All right, and I grabbed my Copics earlier, so that should help. I did refresh my own memory too. I Googled a white chicken so that I knew what my plan was going to be. So I'm going to start out with a W5. You could do any kind of grays for this. And I'm going to add some shadow anywhere where one part of her body overlaps another. In this case, I'm saying she's got a belly, and so her belly's overlapping the bottom, right? Anywhere where there's kind of the arm crease, the bottom of her arm, her wing, I guess. I'm going to add some just on the side of her face. I think I'm going to do the whole rollers pink. I mean, maybe the center should be white. You guys tell me what you think. Should the center of the curlers, should it all be pink, or should the center of the curlers be white like she has her feathers rolled in it? You tell me. I'll keep going on the rest of her, and you guys tell me what you think, because I'm really torn on that. And then I'm going to follow these artist drawn lines. And this looks really very gray to start, but when we go in with the lighter grays and we leave a good bit of white space, it will read as white and not gray. Just going in with my W5. Nope, sorry, W3. W5 was my first color. So I went one bump up, W3. And I'm just overlapping those same areas. You guys think the white with the feathers? Okay. All right, we'll add some more white up there then in just a second. And then I'm blending out the W3 with W1, but I'm not filling in the space. I'm being very careful to leave a good bit of white space all the way around. And now we'll go up for her curlers. Do you know how I know that you guys are the best possible friends to come hang out with me? The fact that you're here with me instead of watching Miss Taylor Allison Swift on TikTok or something live, that means a lot. That's like the highest compliment you could give me right now. All right, so we have her curlers. Okay, so my thought was, well, let's finish her actual bird features, right? I'm going to go in with YR27 on the bottom part of her beak and Y38 on the top. I know it's not a big space, but I really just wanted some second color there for some dimension. And then on her little, not a gobbler because that's a turkey thing, but on her little chin dangle, R29, and then some R24. Same thing, just a little space. So only two colors. You don't even really have to do the two. I just love it. Let me show you guys how she's looking so far. Oh my gosh, so cute. And once we get all the other color in, she'll look even more of like a white and not just gray. So her legs, right? Her legs and her feet. Same as her beak color, the Y38. I'll just do one shade on those. That's fine. And then for her mug, her glasses, and her slippers, they had to be pink. I don't make the rules. I just know what they are, right? So I grabbed a bunch of different RV markers. I want to do some lighter and some darker. I think I want her mug to be darker and her glasses and her slippers to be lighter, but all within the same kind of color family. So for this mug, I want it to look like a cylinder. And so I'm going to put the shading all the way to the edge of her wing on the right-hand side. And on the left side, I want to make sure that I'm leaving a sliver of highlight on the outside of the mug. That's RV69. I'm going to jump to RV19 and start pulling that color out. Kind of making this like U shape. I really want that highlight in the center to stay open. And then my last color for this part is going to be an RV14, which might be a bit of a jump, but we can go back and forth a little bit if we need to. I think that'll dry back pretty good though. So I want to fill in that outer edge, overlap the center. We'll give that a minute to dry and see what it does. Mine. I can already see it's pushing out that RV19 a good bit. So while it's wet, I just went back in with the RV19 and kind of flicked it forward. Waddles. Thank you. The chicken chin flappy is a waddle. Now we know. Thank you so much. All right, so same thing. I'm going to start with my lightest shade from the mug. This is the RV14. And I'm going to start in the center of her glasses. And this cracks me up because my grandma had cat eye glasses just like this. I've seen pictures. I think hers were white, but they were epic. And I think she's watching right now too. So Mama, if you're watching, this is an ode to your cat eye glasses. So I'm going in and starting to color my bunny slippers, adding shading. I know that's probably not the clearest ever. So there you go. So adding the darkest color to the center of the glasses, the bottom of the slipper, and just on the edges of the bunnies. Then we'll jump up one to an RV13. Fill in the rest of the bottom. Start pulling in the coloring on all those edges. I'm just going to leave the very tip of the glasses open. And when you're trying to get really tight and detailed onto those teeny tiny little lines, it's okay to really go close to your nib so that when you are drawing, you have the most control possible. And then my lightest shade for this is going to be an RV11. And I'm going to use that to just fill in the slippers. And then she needs some eye highlights for sure. So going in with my white gel pen, I've got out of the lines in one little spot here. So I'm going to clean that up and then go in and add her some eye highlights. You know, her mug too. Let's give her mug a good little shine mark. Like a little exclamation point. Oh, her curlers. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay. We're going in with that RV14. There we go. Now it's for real. So cute. Okay. So now she's all colored up. Let's get her out. See how she looks. Oh yeah, that's really cute. This is definitely going to be a more clean and simple card for me, which is not my strong suit. But I try. I try. Also because I know all different people hopefully are watching these and everybody has their own style and not everybody wants a crazy over the top card all the time. So I promise before next week I will clean my Misty, first of all. But I'm going to just hold my little grandma chicken in place where I think I want her to go. I think I'm going to ground her with a little bit of gray marker. So I want to leave a little bit of space between her and the sentiment. I don't want her too low. I think like that. That looks pretty straight. Doing all these lives has really helped me get a lot more accurate on my first try with my settling my stamps into my Misty. So I'm going to go in with the asphalt ink and I'm going to tap it as gently as possible because my inks are still juicy. And then tapping it as lightly as possible onto my card front. I don't want to squish it. These are very thin, so you don't need to like CPR press. Just like a little tap. My H is not cooperating. There we go. I thought about stamping it out in the pink, but I just know that my pink ink is still way too, I haven't perfected stamping it without getting it to bleed yet. So the black will be easier to read anyway. Yeah. I try to keep you guys very much in mind when I'm planning these out. And if I have one that's a little more involved one day of the week on my second live, I try to keep it a little more simple. But I have the too much gene, so it's sometimes hard for me to know when to reel it in. So I'm sorry, what I'm doing, I'm holding my chicken in place at the top, and I am just putting my finger underneath her feet so that I can get an idea for where I want my shadow to go. So that's going directly under her slippers. So I know if I use it as my base point and blend out from there, we'll get a nice little grounding spot for her to live on. So I'm going to just pull that out and down just a little bit. That was the W7. These are the same shades that I used on her chicken. W5, again, just a little further out and a little further down. And when you're coming out, you want to almost create like a rounded or a triangle kind of shape. Yes, my too much gene. I got it very much from my father if he's watching. There's no shame in that game. We've acknowledged it. It's there. So going in with that W3 and really just starting to feather those shades out, pun intended. And then let's check her out and see what, yeah, that's pretty cute. She looks a little like she's on a hill though. I didn't make that the straightest line ever. That's the nice thing though too about doing a little bit at a time with your grounding shadow. You can always go in and add more. I just think that this is a really nice way. If you put in all that effort in coloring them up, your images, no matter how you colored them, that it makes sense to kind of ground them. So even though it's not a scene card, they look like they belong there. They're not just floating in space. Yeah, I really love that. And you know exactly how we're going to adhere her to this, right? There you go. Also, we did get a name request for the foam tape. Also from my dad. Sticky McFoam Face was his request. So if anybody would like to come up with a better name or a different name, perhaps, you let me know. Because if no one else offers anything up, Sticky McFoam Face is where we're at, guys. So I'm just cutting up some tiny pieces to make sure that her feet are popped up. There is no better name. Okay. And there you go. Sticky McFoam Face. Oh yeah, grounding your image will make a huge difference. Don't get me wrong. I've seen plenty of cards where the image is on there and it still looks cute, but it really helps to create that kind of scene feel without having to add a ton of detail if you add that grounding line below your image, no matter what your image is. It could be any kind of little character. So I have the bottom foam down, but the top foam is not. So you can see I can still kind of manipulate her and get her situated. So once I feel good about it, we're going to press down, and that's just going to give the perfect amount of dimension. And you know me, I grabbed gems, but I really think now seeing everybody saying how they like that it is so simple and clean, I think I'm gonna call it done here. I think I'm gonna self-edit, and I think that's our card. I also don't really want to put anything on the inside this time because I don't know really what I want to use her for, and I just feel like the way it is now, it could be any kind of card. So I think that's done. I think we're done. So let's bring back the card from the other day for anybody that might have missed it. So with this one, we use the Mush Love stamp set with one of the new Cloudy Day stencils. These really fun scallop circle dies that has the scallops and the stitched edge circle. Just a really fun, bright, a little bit less simple card. And then tonight we have our, here, let's show the whole thing again in case anybody missed the beginning. This is the Just Chicken on You stamp set with our grandma chicken, these two sweet little sassy sunglass chickens. I love her high heels, by the way. These silly ones that are all on the fence, one with their little chicken butt out. And then the mama with her little eggs and teddy bear reading them a story with all of these great honey sentiments. So Just Chicken on You, love it. Mush Love, love it. So I hope that this was really fun. I hope you guys get inspired to use something like a stencil that is titled in a way that would make you think that it is holiday specific or theme specific, and see if there's another way that you can use it or flip it or something that will let you use it more often in a more impactful way. So yeah, let's get that up out of the way and that away. There we go. So that is our card for tonight. I am so glad that you came to hang out with me. Make sure that you are keeping an eye on the Pink and Main blog because we've had a sneak peek posts going up all week. There's links to that, links to the blog page and the website in the description, no matter where you are watching from right now. So check the blog because the design team has been hard at work making those sneak peek cards for you guys. Next week, we are going to be doing another two-parter video. So Tuesday, we'll start 3 backgrounds. Thursday, we will finish them. And we are going to be using a new product that we have not seen yet, unless you've been over on the blog checking those cards out. It is not a foil. It is not an ink. It is something completely new to Pink and Main. It's got some shimmer and it's going to take a while to dry. So those are your hints. So we're going to start them on Tuesday. We'll wrap them up on Thursday. It's going to be really fun. And I hope that you love the release once it is out tomorrow. And if you have questions or requests for any images or anything you want to see used, definitely leave them in the comments because right now I have ideas for next week's backgrounds, but I haven't settled on the main images yet. So I am open to taking requests. Let me know what you think. Yes, I am going to go watch some Taylor Swift right now. And I hope that you have an amazing night, an amazing weekend. I will see you back here on Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern next week. And thank you guys. Till then, happy crafting.